Yeah, I'm getting into, like, I mean, we can wait. You want to wait to get this on camera? I just feel like...
I mean, we're recording, right?
Are we recording?
I'd rather just start.
Yeah,
I don't really
too.
have a big introduction.
Yeah, cool. I like that. I like that. Like you said, I feel like I'm in a cool vein, but I haven't really... This album is super... it's just not very deep, you know? Yeah, I didn't go there like that, you know what I mean? I didn't go super deep with it. Thank you.
The last 2 or 3 years which have led up to this album, there's been some really significant change in your life, and the album being called Changes focuses on one, and we're going to get to a place of happiness, and this album is a happy album. I mean, it's really, you know, it feels to me like a musical tribute to your relationship. But I want to kind of kick the timeline off in 2017, and I always feel like there's a point with you, Justin, where you give so much, then you've got to a point where you've got to stop. But it's like the train is running, you know what I mean? So it has to stop in a dramatic fashion. Why did you stop the tour in 2017, and what was the reason for that?
I was really tired emotionally, physically, and I was sick, and I didn't realize I was sick. So I had like Epstein-Barr, which is like, it's called mono. And then I have Lyme disease. So it was that, it was just, you know, the exhaustion of just being on tour. And then it was just everything compounded, I think, to be honest.
How did you feel when the tour came to an end?
I mean, it didn't really come to an end. I was supposed to do a bunch of stadiums, but, you know, once the American leg or the European leg or wherever I came from last was done, I was like, this is it for me. I mean, I pushed through, you know, the last month or two, and I couldn't believe I pushed through that. So when they were like, you know, we got to still do stadiums, I was like, this is not going to be good. I'm not going to be able to make it through that. And it's just, no, it won't work. And I'm someone who pushes until it's like, you know, until it's like the last straw. So I just couldn't do it.
You knew instinctively that something was going on with your physical state.
I knew there was something not right because I was doing everything right on tour. I mean, I wasn't, you know, I was keeping to myself. I was keeping on as much of a structured schedule as I could. I was doing the ice bath every day. I was eating salmon twice a day. Like, I was doing the right thing to try to take care of my body. And it was just like nothing was, just felt depleted and felt shitty all the time. So I was like, you know, and then that took an emotional toll on me. So I was like, you know, I just didn't know what the hell was going on.
How have you adapted to that experience, knowing now that you have Lyme disease? And how has it adjusted your lifestyle and how you move forward? And what changes have you noticed?
I think just making sure that I am just doing the right treatments for it, doing the right IVs and all that sort of stuff, taking the necessary precautions necessary to not get any worse, I guess. Listen to Hailey when she says she feels that I'm run down, and it's good to have her as, you know, checks and balances. She can let me know when I'm like, all right, you're looking depleted right now. And
it's clear to anyone who hears this album, and also to anyone who takes an interest in your life as a fan, that the two of you have found, you know, a really important bond, and that this marriage has been a hugely important development in your life.
It's been a big reason of why I'm coming back and I'm successful at this. I think she is definitely the reason. There'd be no story without her. There would be no... She just ties it all together. I mean, she giving me substance to talk about. She's the person that I'm learning to, you know, love unconditionally, start a family with. So, you know, regardless if I sell another record, I mean, I have a lot of peace just knowing that I have the rest of my life to build a relationship with a solid foundation, trust and patience and all the things that go into building a healthy relationship.
When I listen to the sort of what's been said from either of you, it's been documented in the series, but also what you've said, it sounds like both of you to some degree knew it was right, but you were both had to go in sort of in your own way sort of confirm or qualify that was the case.
Right.
How did you know? And there's a song on the album which really refers to that, which is that's what real love is, you know?
Yeah.
And how did you kind of know?
I'd let her know prior to the tour when we were hanging a lot. I said, listen, I'm still really hurt and still trying to figure out my way, and I'm not ready to make a commitment to you in a way that, I just don't want to say something and do the opposite, because I was at the point where I'd done that in the past, and I just was like honest with her. It was like, I'm not in a place to, be faithful and all this sort of stuff that I wanted to be, but I just wasn't there yet.
And what was hurting you at the time? You said you were still hurt.
I think I was just hurt from my previous relationship. I think I still was dealing with a lot of unforgiveness and all that sort of stuff. So to be honest, I don't think I even knew what I was really struggling with at the time. I don't think I knew I was dealing with unforgiveness. I was just in a place where I knew I didn't want to tell her one thing, and I felt like she respected me at the time, and I had a lot of respect for her. And so I just didn't want to say something and then she'd see me off doing some other thing. Mm-hmm. And so, but either way, she loved me, and seeing me with other people hurt her. And so with that being said, she went out and did things that hurt me. And so it was just this hurt. I hurt her, she hurt me. And then before tour, we just really stopped talking. I was really upset. And rather than, before that, in my previous relationship, I went off and just went crazy and went wild, just was, being reckless. This time I took the time to really build myself and focus on, me, and try to make the right decisions and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I got better. And so she would reach out to people that were that we knew.
Checking on you.
And check in, and she would get you'd hear, right? You'd hear oh, he's doing so well. And she would be so pissed off because she's like, he's not doing well without me. Just, normal, right? Normal.
Facts.
Yeah.
Right? And
if you want to think you're happy for someone, it sucks to hear that they're happy without you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she would hear this, right? You'd hear this, and it would just be, you'd just be like, what? He's doing well?
But in a way, you're kind of trying to get better because you recognize there's something that is unresolved here in a weird way.
Right. I just didn't know what the heck was going on. And so I really took a deep dive in my faith, to be honest. I just went deep into I believed in Jesus, but I never really when it says following Jesus is actually turning away from sin. And so there's no, what it talks about in the Bible, it's there's no obedience. There's no faith without obedience. So it's I had faith about oh, I believe Jesus died on the cross for me, but I never really implemented it into my life. I never was I'm gonna be obedient. So I was I wasn't sleeping around. I wasn't doing a lot of stuff. I just was kind of by myself. And
how did you who helped you come to that? Because I'm sure there are a lot of, and I don't mean this in a judgmental way, it's just humanity and everyone's on their own journey. There are a lot of people who are practicing one belief or another, but as you say, it's different when you say it as opposed to actually acting within its guidelines, which are there to give you ultimate focus, right, on what's important. So when did you decide to actually move within the guidelines, and how did you find yourself away from, I believe in Jesus, but I'm going to drink or do drugs or sleep around or all these other distractions? How did you get out of that world? What was the turning point for you?
I think it was my perception of who Jesus really was, I'd had really bad examples of Christians in my life who would say one thing and do another. So they were my direct example of who Jesus was.
That's why you didn't take it seriously.
I didn't take it as seriously because I didn't have good examples.
Good role models.
And so I think the more I really looked at the character of who Jesus really was.
Did you grow up in a Christian household?
I grew up in a Christian household, yeah. But my mom was, she was really hurt growing up. She had so many things going on in her life, so she was navigating her faith journey. For me, it was just confusing because she'd say one thing and then she would say, well, you're forgiven, but then I'd do something bad or whatever was supposedly bad, but then she'd make me feel ashamed for it. So it's well, if Jesus forgives me, then why are you making me feel bad for doing something? Obviously there's a form of we got to make sure we keep our kids accountable and punish our kids so that they learn from their mistakes. But if there's this God named Jesus who died for our sins so that we don't have to live in shame, then why? It was just things like that would make me really question, who is this Jesus guy? And I didn't really take a deep look into who he was.
That's tough. I mean, I get it. Like hey man, our parents do the best they can. And I've been through my own, situations where I've confronted things that have affected my life's choices.
Exactly.
But at some point, you got to come to a decision. You got to take responsibility for your own perception of those situations, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you run around just blaming everybody, and that's an entitled situation, right?
Yeah, it's no good.
It entitles you to behave however you want. You know what I mean?
100%.
I guess that's what I was getting at when I was talking about those tough years, is in a way, you were punishing yourself because you didn't have the answers, right?
I think so. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. I think that I was just, living in this shame, living in all this sort of stuff of my past, and I wasn't able to move on. But the more I looked at, so now I'm not doing, the way I look at my relationship with God and with Jesus is I'm not trying to earn God's love by doing good things. God has already loved me for who I am before I did anything to earn and deserve it. It's a free gift by accepting Jesus and just giving your life to him. And what he did is the gift. The forgiveness is the thing that we look at and, I'm going to worship you, God, because you gave me something so good. And so you live that life of like, I don't want to cheat on my wife, not because it's the right thing to do, but because I don't want to hurt her. See the difference there?
That is love.
Yeah. It's
You're putting the well-being of someone that you care about ahead of your own fallibilities and your own previous behavior.
Exactly.
And what's out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I love that.
Can I ask you a tough question before we focus on the future and how bright things look? Do you think that if you hadn't redefined what Jesus was and reclaimed it into something that was worthy of practice for you, which then led you on a path of reconciliation with your wife, do you think the person that the you of then was on a path of self-destruction? Do you feel that you were self-destructing?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would have, for sure. 100%. Yeah. 100%. It would have been no bueno. It was bad. It would have been, I don't know if I'd be alive for sure. It was dark, really dark. So I'm very, very grateful to have influences in my life that have played a huge part in me seeing their relationship with Jesus and their relationship with their wives and their relationship with their kids and saying, that's what I want, and striving after that. So that's, I was thinking too, it's not, obviously, when we want to be successful in certain things, there's things we have to work hard at, but like striving for God's love or God's approval or people's approval, it's like God's told me, he said, I don't hear from God audibly, but I feel like God's, when he sees us, he's not this God that a lot of people think that it's like judgmental, and he's a God that accepts us for who we are and loves us through our pain and through our dirt. Jesus wasn't this religious elite guy that, came to, but he was in the dirt, and he found me in my dirt and pulled me out. And that's why my story, that's why I'm not afraid. I want to talk about without forcing that into people's, I never want to be someone that's trying to persuade anyone to believe in what I believe. I think God persuades people, but I want to definitely tell my story so that if that resonates to anybody.
If you ever thought you knew the inside story of Justin Bieber's romantic life, think again. In a recent, remarkably candid interview, the global pop superstar did something few celebrities dare. He admitted his past relationship with Selena Gomez was a mistake and declared his marriage to Hailey Baldwin as his true forever. The confession has reignited a firestorm of debate among fans and critics alike. Was Justin's whirlwind with Selena always doomed? And was Hailey always his destiny? More than just celebrity gossip, Bieber's journey reveals a powerful tale of heartbreak, self-discovery, and finally, lasting peace. For years, the world was hooked on the roller coaster that was Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez. Their love story, played out in the glare of the public eye, seemed almost scripted for the tabloids. Young, famous, and wildly in love, they were the couple everyone rooted for and gossiped about. Their chemistry was undeniable, their breakups and reconciliations the stuff of headlines and heartbreak anthems. But behind the glamorous photos and chart-topping songs, trouble was brewing. Looking back, Justin doesn't shy away from confronting the pain of that era. I think I was chasing something with Selena that I wasn't ready for. I was immature, and so was she. We loved each other, but it was toxic. The more we tried to fix things, the worse they got. For Bieber, calling a relationship a mistake isn't about regret, but about recognizing that neither he nor Selena was prepared for real, healthy love. We were trying to fill holes in ourselves with each other. That never works. Selena Gomez, for her part, has spoken about the emotional toll their relationship took on her, hinting at manipulation and the pain of loving someone still searching for themselves. Their breakup was messy and public, but ultimately, it became a turning point for them both. After the final split, Justin reconnected with Hailey Baldwin, a longtime friend who had witnessed his ups and downs from a respectful distance. Unlike the drama that marked his previous romance, his connection with Hailey was built on calm, honesty, and true friendship. With Hailey, everything was different from the start. Justin explains. There was no drama, no games. She made me feel safe and understood. I could finally just be myself. Their engagement and marriage in 2018 was a shock to many. Some fans accused Justin of moving on too quickly, using Hailey as a rebound. But Justin insists that couldn't be further from the truth. Hailey was never a rebound. She taught me what real love looks like. Transitioning from one high-profile love to another wasn't easy. Justin describes a period of intense self-work, therapy, faith, accountability. Hailey supported me through all of it, but she also challenged me. She made it clear she wouldn't accept anything less than my best. Hailey, too, has been open about the challenges of being married to someone with a complicated past. There were times I felt insecure or compared myself to Selena, but Justin always made it clear that he chose me. Our relationship is built on honesty, forgiveness, and a lot of prayer. When asked how he feels about Selena today, Justin's response is both mature and compassionate. I'll always care about her. We went through a lot together. I want nothing but the best for her. But I realize now that I was holding on to an idea of love, not the real thing. For him, Hailey represents a love that is grounded, secure, and lasting. Hailey is my forever. She's the only one I want to wake up next to for the rest of my life. With her, I learned that love isn't about obsession or fixing someone else. It's about partnership, respect, and growing together. Not surprisingly, Bieber's remarks have divided the internet. Some fans feel vindicated. Others feel hurt on Selena's behalf. Yet, Bieber's honesty sets a new standard for how celebrities, indeed, how anyone, can own their story. Admitting his mistakes isn't about blaming anyone. It's about learning, growing, and moving on. Selena, meanwhile, continues to emphasize the importance of self-love and healing in her own life and music. Sometimes you have to lose people to find yourself. I'm grateful for every chapter because it led me here, she recently said. Today, Justin and Hailey are building a life away from the paparazzi, one rooted in faith and mutual respect. Their marriage isn't perfect, but it's real. They fight, forgive, and choose each other every day. For anyone struggling with heartbreak or self-doubt, Bieber's story is a powerful reminder. Mistakes don't define us. What matters is what we learn from them and who we become on the other side. Justin Bieber's revelation isn't just another headline. It's a courageous narrative about love, loss, and a long road to finding your true forever. Sometimes, the greatest lesson is that letting go of what we thought was meant to be is the only way to embrace what is truly meant for us. For Justin, that forever is Hailey, and in sharing his journey, he invites us all to find our own.